This episode of Techzilla is sponsored by Brain Tonic, Squarespace, and GoToMeeting.com. Coming up on today's show, a blazing new CPU from Intel, cheap screen protection, renting EVDO, and tons more. So butter up your toast and cut the crust off. 'Cause Techzilla starts now.
Welcome to Techzilla. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont. Hey, if you guys are thinking of buying a new PC and you're looking for literally the fastest processor ever, hold off until Intel's Core i7 CPU is an option.
Or at least like the fastest desktop processor that normal human money can buy. Lloyd Case, great write-up over at extremetech.com. And depending on what you're running, the benchmarks put the processor at somewhere between 0 and 30% faster. And it's actually, gaming depends on your GPU. You're probably going to be GPU bound and need to upgrade, but we're talking about a really healthy boost for content creation applications.
Yeah, if you're thinking upgrades, you'll need a new motherboard since the i7 comes with a new processor, chipset, and socket. They'll show up for sale in the next few weeks with a 2.66 gigahertz $300 CPU at the low end and a 3.2 gigahertz $1,000 part at the top of the line.
And there's literally, they're releasing like 3 parts, so it's like $300, $600, and $1,000. Now, if you're bargain hunting, the good stuff is probably gone by the time you're getting this, but Circuit City shutting down 155 stores, bringing in a liquidator and selling it off just months after CompUSA closed down. This is not all Circuit City locations, but 155 of them. One lesson from the CompUSA sell-off: bring somebody with a cell phone that can check prices. There's nothing more annoying than paying $250 for a closeout set of home theater speakers in a damaged box that you can buy new and undamaged somewhere else for under $200. And our condolences to anybody that got laid off on this one. From reports online, sounds like it was pretty harsh.
And my apologies for my overzealous use of the word literally.
Literally?
Because literally, I say that all the time. It's very rarely literally the right time to use that.
I'm terribly sorry. Basically, though, I don't think it's a big deal.
No, I think we should move on to something a little perkier.
Basically.
A little happier. Last week we told the viewer Warren, our fave tool for streaming audio and video from a computer at home to pretty much anywhere with a net connection and pretty much just about anything you wanted to stream. We liked orb.com. Well, we got just under 70 zillion emails asking why we didn't suggest simplifymedia.com. So please, no more emails about Simplify Media. Yeah,
first off, one reason we like Orb is that it can share audio, video, photos, and documents, and you can share them with friends. You can fire out an email with a link, all sorts of good stuff like that. Simplify Media focuses on audio files, which isn't a bad thing. Mike did a good job of explaining how it works. It's really simple. You install the app on both computers and sign into your account. Then when you open iTunes, your home library shows up under Shared Libraries. It works on Mac, PC, and Linux, and they even have an iPhone application as well. Now, you know what else they have? Well, they have support for Winamp and Rhythmbox if you don't love the iTunes. So, ladies and gentlemen, go forth and stream.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad that we missed that one because that is kind of what Warren was looking for. He wanted something that he could stream his music files from.
Well, we can do that with Orb.
So you can do that too. So now you have many different options. You guys were awesome sending all those things in. I mean, it was unreal looking at the Techzilla inbox and seeing pages and pages and pages of audio streaming, audio streaming, audio streaming. It was pretty cool.
It was pretty surreal,
actually. You guys
actually
know your stuff out
Actually,
there.
You guys know Simplify Me. We've never, I mean, I've been doing this for years and I've never gotten like that many like, oh my God, you missed the most obvious thing ever. And sorry, never used it.
We are such noobs. Man. Anyhow, we have another chance. We have another chance today. Matt has sent us a fun question, and he says, with all the online availability of basically any TV content, is this the end of set-top boxes like TiVo? Is it even worth buying one of these boxes nowadays when I can just watch my favorite shows on my computer? I was also wondering if either of you guys will still use TiVo or any other services like it. Thank you. Matt. Oh yeah, you can pry my TiVo from my cold dead hands, pretty much. Good luck with that. I'm gonna be like, TiVo.
That's a scary concept.
Because I'm going to be a zombie, actually, when I die. That's what that was.
Are you running TiVo with cable TV or over the air?
Cable TV, Comcast.
That's what I figured. The dreaded Comcast. The
No,
beloved Comcast.
I don't mind. Comcast cable's not bad.
I know. I just have this thing about they bought this place I used to work for and disassembled it, so I'm bitter still.
I'll let it slide.
I have DirecTV. I have the HR22 DVR, 750 gigabyte external hard drive attached to the eSATA port, so I can nab more video. And yeah, you can definitely get all the popular shows soon after the broadcast. But I gotta say, back around the last season of The Sopranos, early Deadwood, the missus and I decided that we wanted to see the new episodes immediately instead of waiting hours. And we don't have to worry about getting sued for sharing, and we help pay the TV people that make the content we consume.
But hey, you can watch a lot of stuff on Hulu, which there's actually a pretty good discussion about in the forums right now.
That's it. Okay.
Hulu's a good one, or you can see them on a lot of the actual networks have streaming on their own websites also. I'm just saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate. There's other ways other than BitTorrent for seeing the shows after.
I think it's awesome that the networks are bringing that out, but it seems like a lot of people still, when they think of like getting television on the internets, are thinking about peer-to-peer BitTorrents, which actually I think would be kind of a question for everybody out in the audience. Are you using Hulu and other services? What are your complaints? What do you love about it? Or are you still doing the peer-to-peer file trading? I don't care whether or not anybody ever gets paid for what I watch because I get it the way I want, keeping it reals, yo.
I don't think I ever expected you to ever say keeping it reals, yo, on this show or any other.
I'm so sorry.
But let us know what you guys use, whether it's cable satellite or BitTorrent or something like Hulu.
Hulu or any other distribution method.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. And now a message from one of our sponsors, Brain Tonic. Brain Tonic is the world's first think drink. It contains exactly 0 caffeine and 0 processed sugar and contains no chemical preservatives. It's fuel for the cranium, making it highly effective for increasing mental clarity. The mental focus powers come from 2 herbs and 2 natural compounds, and it's sweetened only with the organic agave nectar. Brain Tonic is the antidote to head fog. It was made by and for people who understand the role that health plays in accomplishing one's life vision. Place an order for Brain Tonic online at www.braintonic.com and be sure to use the coupon code R3 for a discount anytime you purchase.
Welcome to this week's Freebie Download Pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. This week's pick is everything. Tired of Windows taking its sweet time searching your hard disk for important files that you need now? Wish searching folders or subfolders wasn't so darn complicated? Then you need to step up to everything. It's a fast folder and file search engine for Windows. Sounds simple, right? What would take minutes before now takes mere seconds, and best of all, everything is simple to use. What's the catch? You gotta have an NTFS formatted hard drive, no FAT16 or 32 here. Other than that, just run the application and then type in your search terms. If you need to find all your MP3s in your hard drive, just type star.mp3. Not sure where you put the pics you took at last weekend's party? Do a search for star.jpg. The results will pop up almost instantly. If you need to search for a particular file or folder within the results, just highlight it and type what you want to look for. Another nifty feature is that you don't have to manually re-index your drive because everything uses the USN journaling function in NTFS. Shell integration lets you search specific folders by right-clicking on them and selecting Search Everything. And you also get support for wildcards and Boolean operations like the pipe command and quotes for more precise search results. You need a better, faster way to search your PC? We bet you do. You should give everything a test drive. Up next, a bargain for protecting your screens.
Yep, Joseph from Toronto writes, I just got a new BlackBerry and I was looking for ways to protect it when I came across Zag's Invisible Shield. Apparently it was designed for the military to protect helicopter blades. I just have to say that this product is amazing, and seeing as how Patrick treats his iPhone, I would highly recommend it. Could you do a review and let the masses know about this product?
Okay. One minor correction. The material they used to make the invisible shields, it was designed to protect the leading edge of helicopter blades.
Okay.
It's clear urethane plastic, it's flexible, and it has self-healing properties.
Wait, what do you, it takes a mana potion and it feels better? How does that work?
Well, basically, normally, it's kind of funny, right? I've been using these for a couple of years, and I've never actually scratched one before. I got ink to soak into it once, but actually there's a sharp edge on this plug that I drug on it. Oh, see, there it goes again.
I don't want to fly in that helicopter.
Well, the thing is, though, I've never actually managed to get a mark on one of these before, so I'm kind of fascinated and horrified. But the thing is this has been in my backpack, it's been in my pockets, which are generally full of gravel, and they really do an amazing job of protecting the screen. And I pretty much got all hot and heavy about my love for the Invisible Shield back in episode 18 of Techzilla. I'm not a huge fan of the full shields kit that cover the back and the sides of the iPhone, but they're pretty awesome for protecting the screen itself.
Now, you're sure you had the invisible shield on when you just scratched the screen, right?
Yes.
You're positive?
Yeah.
You didn't just scratch the
No.
glass
See,
on your screen?
it's actually removable.
Just making sure. I'm just looking out, buddy.
Last time I mentioned this, the shields, the invisible shields on Twitter, I got a flood of tweets about bestskins.ever.com. They claim to use the exact same material. And it's going to take me, there we go.
Oh, there you go, okay.
So they claim to use the exact same material, and while they don't offer a lifetime guarantee, they charge a lot less than Zag does. How much less? Think $15 for the invisible shield face cover that I'm holding up right here versus $5.99 from Best Skins Ever. Now, my original closing line with this was like, maybe you don't need the lifetime protection because, how would you actually hurt this stuff? But apparently I now have a reason to contact Zag and tell them that, yes, actually, my cover was scratched, torn, or damaged in any way while protecting my device. Well,
is your screen scratched at all? Did it go through?
Not even, no.
So that's good.
Yeah. So maybe the helicopter is safe.
Maybe. For now.
I can't believe I just scratched this thing.
Yeah. Up next, we got an email from Dana. And he says, I spend a couple of weeks each year in Florida, Naples actually, visiting my elderly parents, where they have no high-speed internet connection in their townhouse. No! Only dial-up is possible, and it is agony. You answered a question last week about e-video cards, but all the ones I could find required a long commitment to get a reasonable cost. Does anyone offer reasonable short-term rentals of such cards, say, for a month?
From Dana in Laurel, Maryland.
Yes.
Yes.
That's quite a long trip to Naples, Florida.
It's not that long. It's a couple hours on a plane.
Oh, you're right. It's I was thinking.
Montana.
Geography, it's fun, kids.
Oddly enough, we got another email about the same subject, but Greg wrote in an answer. Check this out. He says, in episode 57, Eric wrote that he was looking for wireless internet access on his long road trip. One option is to rent a wireless card and service. Last summer I used Rovair, that's www.rovair.com. They rent you a 3G card or dongle and they provide service. They ship the card to you. When you're done, you simply return the card to them in a prepaid envelope. If you only need access for a few weeks, it's a much cheaper alternative to a 2-year contract with Sprint or Verizon.
Yeah, what a coincidence, huh? Someone writes in with a question and someone else writes in with an answer. It's like we're totally irrelevant. Like, why are we even here right now? They're just answering their own stuff now. They don't even need us anymore.
Yeah, well.
So, what are you doing later? Do you want to go hang out or something?
Watch the elections?
Yeah, go.
It's Tuesday, I guess.
Oh, well, hey, to end our little pity party, I actually do have something to add. When I went to Japan, I did a very similar thing. I went online and went to Rent-A-Phone Japan, ordered a phone, they had it delivered to my hotel room, and then when I was done with it, I just stuck it back in the prepaid envelope and sent it off. So I think that's something really good to do, especially if you're going overseas or to Europe or to Japan or Asia countries.
I've done that with satellite phones going down to Baja because it's like $1,000 for the phone and $1 bazillion for the service. So, something we never thought about. Rent an EVDO modem.
Or phone, if you're going somewhere. It's that easy.
I like that thought.
And hey, you know what else is easy?
Getting your video put together for Techzilla. We need your internet videos. So if you want to get your 15 seconds of internet fame, at least via Techzilla, send us a video. All you need to do is record yourself in front of a video camera asking a question no longer than 15 seconds. Then upload the video to YouTube, email us a link with video question in the subject line. And please, no video attachments. You want to send us pictures? Great. You want to send us a video? Upload it to YouTube first. Thank you. We look forward to seeing your submissions.
Yep, it's time now for a message from one of our sponsors, GoToMeeting.com.
Online meetings, great, right? But setting up the technology and getting a meeting started can be a pain. That's why you need GoToMeeting, the easiest online meeting service available. With GoToMeeting, there are no technical headaches. You can start a meeting with just a click in advance or on the fly via your Outlook calendar. Plus, attendees don't even need the software to attend your meeting. GoToMeeting lets you hold unlimited meetings for a low monthly rate. Hey, you know what? We're actually planning another Techzilla System Go-To meeting, a meeting where you'll get a chance to chat with the production staff that makes Techzilla happen. So get ready by signing up for a free 30-day trial account. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and do us a favor, enter in the promo code Techzilla. That's GoToMeeting.com, promo code Techzilla for a free 30-day trial and a chance to hang out with us in a big, fat, happy conference. Do us a favor here at Techzilla, support us by supporting our sponsors.
Looks like it's time for another websites we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's pick, worldpress.org. In these troubled times, it's always wise to get differing perspectives on world events and news that can shape the world. While you can get news from your standard heavyweights like CNN, the BBC, or a wire source like AP or Reuters, what you end up with is bland, processed information without the subtle context that a local report can offer. That's where worldpress.org steps in. Providing news stories from various national and international press outlets around the globe, worldpress.org gives you valuable insight into situations, politics, and people that affect populations around the globe. Of course, journalism styles and quality can differ from region to region or even nation to nation, so all viewpoints are represented, whether it's from a grassroots news organization or a state-run news agency. While you might not agree with the analysis or editorials provided, they will give you insight into what issues are most prominent in the minds of the local people and local government. Stories range from big international headliners like the U.S. presidential elections, you know, the ones that we had just this past week, down to local or regional stories on issues few people outside the areas know about. So if you're looking for perspectives on news from around the globe from the people who should know the most about it, i.e. the locals, then you need to check out worldpress.org.
Lewis sent an email in all the way from the United Kingdom. He writes, you guys talk a lot about recording and editing podcasts, but you never seem to talk about the most important part of podcasts, hosting. I was just wondering if you could talk about some options when hosting a podcast and also if there are any free options to start with before moving to a paid service. Okay, Lewis. First of all, when did we ever talk about editing podcasts or recording them? I'm getting old and not remembering things.
I think we have. Or maybe I've just been on so many different shows talking about how to do this exact topic that I'm just... like between CNET and DLTV and Texilla, I'm just like, when haven't I talked about doing podcast stuff? But that's why it's good, because it's fun. And I know maybe it's a small segment of our audience that are actually producing their own podcast. I mean, this kind of carries over into the whole media hosting in general thing that a lot of people are probably interested in.
It's kind of all about not getting stomped. For, let's say you put together a video of your cat, and for some reason you don't put it on YouTube, and you put it on
Who would do a crazy thing like that?
Ooh. Ooh. And
I would never make a video about my cat.
It's fine if like 3 of your friends watch it, but if they forward it to 3 people who eventually forward it to 300,000 people, you suddenly find yourself owing billions of dollars to your ISP. Or perhaps thousands.
Interesting.
A lot of cash.
See, the government should just start hosting podcasts and getting money for our deficit that way. Bandwidth costs. Anyway, for totally and completely free hosting, my personal top choice is rmedia.org, which uses the Internet Archive to serve files. We use that for Sword and Laser, actually.
Very cool.
It is very cool. There's actually a free program called Spin Express, which helps you to upload your media and give it all the right attributes, like Creative Commons licensing, which I always do. What's my personal one? I do a Creative Commons, non-attribution, no derivatives. So that means that you have, if you're going to republish it somewhere, you have to give attribution to the original source, but you cannot make changes to the actual, non-commercial. Did I say non-commercial? Non-commercial, no derivatives.
Do you have to put it under Creative Commons license, or can you just copyright it?
I think you can do straight up all rights reserved if you need to. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. Beware though, I mean, after you've done all your licensing and tags and descriptions, one issue with using a totally free host is that you might run into some stability issues. You might. I mean, there has to be some expectation that since it's not a paid service, the quality might not be like A100%, right? I mean, once you get it actually uploaded, it's fine. I've never had any trouble with actually serving the files, but the issue comes from doing the uploading part. A lot of times the files will time out or fail. It won't really give you a good reason why you have to like republish over and over. It's not a huge deal, but it can be kind of time consuming after you've been working on a show for like 3 hours and just want it to be done.
I used to deal with a content distribution network, and we were paying 40 grand a month for the bandwidth we were getting and had the same upload issues. So really, don't feel bad.
I have no idea what content distribution company you could possibly be talking about.
None that is associated with this particular network.
No.
BitGravity is the bomb. Other places we won't talk about.
But anyhow, if you'd like a little more reliability but still don't want to pay an arm and a leg, there are some good options. Libsyn is one that's very popular in the podcasting community. They're a great choice because they offer free bandwidth, and you can pay on a scale depending on how much file space you're actually going to need.
Cool.
So if you have like tons and tons and tons of different files, you're probably going to be paying on the higher end. But it's not too much of a big deal. GoDaddy also offers MP3 hosting, so just shop around to see which service best fits your needs and budget.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun and easy, and you can do it definitely on the cheap. We should do an old, our own build your own podcasting studio. Have we done that before?
Well, it's more of a build your own recording studio.
Yes, I guess if you want to make it more relevant to the rest of our viewers.
Well,
yes.
there's lots of people that record audio.
That is true.
Because I've noticed some people are like, I need a special podcasting microphone. It's like,
no, you don't need a special podcasting anything. And in fact, there's tons of kits out there, like a podcast in a box. And it's all this stuff that comes with it. And it costs a certain amount of money. And it's like a decent microphone. And it's got some decent, like a little mixer, like, you know, just a regular, like 2-input to, you know, XLR input kind of thing.
Sorry, it's just like a, you know, stereo mixer with XLR ports.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but you can find this stuff for way cheaper on eBay and just build your own, put all that stuff together. It's not hard, and you can get it on the cheap for sure.
If you want us to talk about, or actually to say Veronica, since she's the actual trained audio professional, to talk about building up a DIY studio, email us and put
that would be fun.
Build DIY studio in the subject line.
You know what else would be fun that I've been thinking about? We should make a how to do like build your own photography studio and do a whole thing about like light boxes and how to position the lights and how to take like really good close-up shots.
Yeah.
Or headshots.
Yeah, someone wants new
headshots.
No,
not headshots. That Roger said that in my ear. I'm more talking about like if you have gadgets that you want to put on eBay. Or something like that. Like, that would be fun. I just had to take really great close-up macro shots.
One trip to, like, give me 15 minutes in Lowe's. I'll have everything we need for, like, $50.
We could do, like, a cool, like, time-lapse thing with you going to Lowe's and, like, running through the store and grabbing all your stuff and putting it in the cart and then building up the whole thing.
Or steel plastic. The what?
Exactly.
Sorry.
But anyhow, it's time now to thank one of our sponsors that helps us bring the show to you, Squarespace. Squarespace is a one-stop shop to build and maintain a website for just about anything. Blogging, retail, etc. Anything you can think of. One of the coolest things about Squarespace is just how powerful the back end is, allowing even beginners to build very professional-looking sites from scratch. You can even watch the code being manipulated as you drag and drop things onto your site. When you sign up, use the code TechZilla and get 10% off for the lifetime of your membership. I'm actually using Squarespace for a new project that I have coming up. The project is still a work in progress, but here are a couple of snapshots of how the page may turn out. So stay tuned over the next couple of weeks to see how the development comes along. This one is right up my alley, I gotta say.
Web store?
No.
Veronica Belmont t-shirts?
That would be awesome. What would they say?
Like
they should have me as Bear, the Bearzilla.
Veronica?
Veronica. Oh yeah, it's Veronica-zilla, but in the bear suit. Veronica.
Interesting.
No,
so when are you going to tell us about your
though.
super secret project?
When?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can kind of figure it out from looking at the website that they're just showing.
I didn't get to see it.
You didn't get to see it, but I'll show sometime.
So it's like secret from me.
I have to say, I was encouraged by another web host out there who gave a very moving speech at a recent tech event, and I was like, do what you love. What do I love?
Science?
If you guys know, I do like science, but I like other things. But what?
Control.
Control. What do you guys think of me?
Pizza.
What are you not telling me? Yeah, it's about pizza, control, and what was the other one? Pizza control.
Bark like a dog for your pizza.com. We've got another email from the old Mailbag.
What the heck is he talking about?
I was just being random.
Go ahead. Read the question. Go ahead. No, I don't want to prove that I'm not all controlling because you think I have a thing about control. So I'll just
I have
let
to
you
read
do
it
the
at
reading.
your command now.
I'll just go ahead. I'll just hang out.
We've got another email. Well, this one is out of the mailbag. It's about DVI. I like this subject. From Nate, who's had some recent problems with DVI/ or I should say -D and DVI-I. He's curious why there are two and how they are different, and is there a way that I could run a VGA to DVI-D connector?
Well, the joke's on you, Nate, because there's actually many different versions, not just two.
Yeah.
There's DVI-I.
Which is both analog and digital.
Right, integrated. That's what the I stands for.
One
There's
connector.
DVI-D.
Digital only.
DVI-A.
Which apparently was never actually intended to be a standalone cabling device. It's just the DVI. It's just the analog part of DVI-I that for some reason they decided to write a spec for, although no one seems to have ever seen one of those in the wild.
And then there's other variations of those as well.
Right. The sad and painful answer is that if you have a DVI-D connector, which is digital, and a VGA input, which is analog, ne'er the twain shall meet without some sort of scan converting type device in between them, so find another graphics card.
But you can still, I mean, generally you're going to be pretty safe with an I, with the DVI-I.
Yeah, and the vast majority of cards out there should have a DVI-I connector on them, which means it'll work both with DVI cables on your monitor or VGA cables on your monitor.
Right, you just need a little connector between your VGA and your DVI, and it should work pretty well, especially with your average monitors.
Oh, I do have to say, if you have a DVI connector, or a DVI to analog connector that comes with a graphics card, sometimes it's because they use a really weird pinout on the graphics card. It's unusual, it's practically impossible, but it shouldn't happen. But if they do actually pack one in the box, don't throw it away just in case it is a peculiar pinout on the card. Yeah,
always make sure you take a look at the connectors that you've got before you start trying to plug things in, or before you go out to buy a different connector to connect the two. You have to make sure you've got the right one, or you could be upset, or you could just break the pins. I mean, what harm could that do? Just make them fit.
Did you ever get that fire put out from that monitor?
Our next email comes from Steve. He says, my TV has one component input. I want to hook up both my Xbox 360 and PS3 to the component input. All I've been able to find are expensive switches that are overkill for my needs. So what is the least expensive component video switch for my TV? We're going to assume that you're finding stuff like Geffen's Fab 4x4 component with audio matrix, which switches from audio and video from 4 component sources and clocks in at a mere $799 list price, $620 street.
Yeah. Well, Geffen makes pretty bomb-proof broadcast quality gear, but that is expensive. So how about a whopping $23 for the Atlona 4-port component video switch with IR learning from monoprice.com.
Hooray!
Yeah, they're pretty much, they're like our go-to source for cheap cables and such. Blue Jeans Cable, another good source, because no one should pay $100 for a 4-foot or even a 6-foot HDMI cable is a rip-off. Don't do it. Just trust us. Go to monoprice.com. You know what we hate?
We hate overpriced HDMI cables.
With a fiery passion of 1,000
overpriced HDMI cable. It's stupid.
Anyhow, judging from the reviews on monoprice.com for that product, it should be perfect with 720p video, though some folks claim it induces a tad, a bit, a smidge of fuzziness in 1080p video. For 23 bucks.
And nausea.
Get it, try it.
Induces nausea, heartburn, occasional vomiting.
She's expanding on the comments. I don't think anyone vomited.
No?
No.
I mean, if it's blurry, it might make you dizzy and then you vomit, right? You don't. That never happens to you?
I can already see like.
Oh, that's just me because I'm drunk. Sorry.
I can see the legal, like the expensive legal stationery, and you and I being in the lawsuit for accusing.
I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? I always get yelled at about something.
This product has never been known to induce. When used properly, this product has never been known to induce vomiting.
Hey, you guys don't know what makes me get nauseated. You don't know. It could be fuzziness in switchers.
For all of you that have been watching, before we get sued off the air for mocking a perfectly innocent $23 video switch, which, quite frankly, we have no proof that it makes anyone, even Veronica Belmont, vomit. Remember, we live on your questions. Do us a favor, email us, techsale@revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos, you ask us, we'll do it. But we need those emails. Where do they send them to?
techsale@revision3.com.
I like the way that sounds.
Just for the record, I vomit rainbows.
Rainbows?
Rainbows. Rainbows. Hey, even better, send us a video question. Think of all the fun you can have in the admiration of all your friends and family when they see your mug on our show. Just keep it to 15 seconds, upload to YouTube, and send us a link in an email with video question in the subject line. And as always, you can visit our forums at revision3.com/forum. Join in the discussion because it's really fun.
I just have this vision of somebody videotaping a Technicolor yawn and emailing the results to us. Please, no attachments. Thank you for watching. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Till next time, you've been watching Techzilla. You vomit rainbows?